A very good afternoon. Welcome to Comedy Republic and welcome to Patchword with Dion, Christian and Josh.
This is amazing.
We weren't expecting you all here. This is incredible.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Welcome to the show. We're very excited to be here doing live stuff. I think it's been like 2 years since our live show, which is crazy. That's a very long time in anyone's book. Just a little quick rundown of how today is going to work. The first part's going to be pretty much a normal show, so we'll go through, do all that stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. And then the back half of the show, last half hour or so, will be the People's Patch. So you guys have a chance to come on up and maybe have a bone to pick, air and grievance, those kind of things, or anything we've missed out in some of the last episodes that you want settled. Also, we're selling mugs downstairs. Thank you.
Sorry, what was that?
We're selling mugs downstairs, $20. They'll be on sale again after the show. There's also the Really Good board. We're doing Really Goods during the show as well. So we will have a little bit of a break. If you want to get your Really Good in down there, then
this is a long list, isn't it? This is quite a long list.
There's a lot of stuff to cover.
We'll hand out sort of a checklist, I think. Yeah. That's what we had arranged.
I'm just very cognizant I haven't spoken yet. So there, that's dismissed. Great.
Actually, just looking at this front row, you guys would be pretty happy. I reckon the second row, you guys would be stoked with where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Did you like plan this? Is this like the second row people? You like
because it's all because it all get filtered in, right? So did you guys delay your arrival to be like, we're gonna just get in here?
And out of interest, when you sat, I'd love to hear from one of you. When you sat next to the person that you didn't know, did you have a little glance? Say a little hello.
Yeah, I reckon. Actually, let's just dismiss the stuff that no one wants to say to the person next to them. Just keep your legs in.
Yeah.
Elbows in.
And shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing. When you go to the tennis or something, it's incredible how loud people are at the tennis. The only thing you need to do at the tennis is watch and shut up. And most people don't watch and they don't shut up. And I'm one of those people.
What do you reckon about even at any sporting event when people are calling out to specific players? It really annoys me because the players can't hear.
Maybe they can, Christian. Maybe they can. Maybe it makes a big difference to them. It doesn't. There's no way.
So they're more likely to take that advice than from the runners and stuff. Go,
That's right.
Hang on, Johnny up in row 6. He says I should go forward. I'm going to do that.
It's what won the grand final.
But I'm very interested. People sitting in the front row, are you sort of usually in the front row? And are you like, I love getting picked on. I just like, we're not going to pick on you.
No, we're not.
We wouldn't do that.
We're not picking on anyone.
No.
I reckon if you don't want to be picked on,
raise your hand.
No. Give a little. We're like a casino. Give a little like. But if you're good for picked on, give a I'll hit. Be like.
But that's like an auction. Just don't scratch your nose or anything like that.
But out of interest, Josh, when you saddle up next to someone, you're going down a row, you saddle up next to someone, what are you doing? You saying g'day?
Nah, unless there's like a bag or something that prompts a discussion. Like there was a lady I was in a show that last night, she had a bag that was kind of on the borderline approaching my space. And she's like, is that okay? I was like, yeah, it's fine.
That's lovely.
And that was the whole interaction. And that's all I needed for that.
Well, but that's perfect because you don't want that to be the thing that makes her then start more conversations with you.
And then I just kicked her bag away. I think we're probably just about ready to get into the full episode and get started.
Is everyone ready to go? Yeah? This is just the before bit. The proper bit starts in like 10 seconds.
Did you want to do anything before?
I don't think so. Did I want to do anything before?
Maybe that's. I think that's a bit.
Yes.
Yes.
So we had a bit of a change that we've made.
So I don't know if you can see, Christian looks a little bit different in that one. So we're just going to update. So now, Christian, you're not allowed to grow your hair back, okay? Because you've updated the logo to that one.
No risk.
Cool, all right. Very good.
Try to be as flattering as possible. All right.
I think Jay will start the show.
Do you need to stop talking when a waiter is setting cutlery on your table? If questions like this have crossed your mind, then you're in good company. Today we'll be taking a closer look at some of the daily habits and social conventions that make up the monotony of life. Let's check the moisture content of a plant with our finger and then struggle to find something to wipe the excess dirt on. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for 4 old friends to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Dion, under the covers with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Josh.
Welcome to Patchword.
And the audience at our first Melbourne International Comedy Festival show. Thank you.
Now, before we get started, Dion had a birthday recently. Happy birthday, Dion.
Thank you.
I just snuck in before midnight. Gave him a happy birthday.
Yep, still pissed at him though. It's fine.
Dion organised some lawn bowls, which was a lovely afternoon.
Yep.
And Dion set the time for his event at 2 p.m. Christian and I arrived probably at 2 p.m.
I arrived at 2 p.m. on the dot.
Yes. And who wasn't there at 2 p.m? So Dion arrived to his own lawn bowls event at 2:20.
Yes.
20 minutes late.
Yes.
And may I say as well, I arrived and the guy behind the bar looked at me and was like, "Oh, Dion?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm Dion." I had to do all the preparatory stuff.
What did you do? Mow the lawns at the lawn bowls? What's the preparatory stuff? What do they do?
That's the intro stuff.
What would they do? Would they wash the
It was
balls?
like, Dion, like, you've got these 2 lanes. This is your table.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I'll correct... and that's it. Next discussion. No, I'll correct you on one thing. You said 2:20. It was actually 2:25 that I turned up.
The weirdest thing, though,
Yeah, go.
your explanation
Oh, God.
when you said, he goes, "Oh, well, no one messaged me they were there yet."
Yeah. What do you think?
And we encourage booing.
Only booing.
What was the excuse?
So I think that I am generally really on time for things. And I think you guys, when I said that when I arrived, you disputed that. But don't worry about that. I think I'm generally really on time for things. And there's this moment in my life where I'm like, if I'm always on time, I'm going to look like a loser. And so
That was a genuine thought.
This is an older crowd, but if you have a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds in here and they turn up to a party that's 2 minutes past 7 p.m, you guys, your party's at 7 p.m, right?
You're talking about being fashionably late.
Fashionably late. No, it was extremely unfashionable lateness on my part.
A host cannot be fashionably late to anything. The host has to be the first person there. I understand you don't necessarily want to be solo. You might not want to sit there by yourself. So I will allow, you can call out a special friend and be like, "Hey, can you make sure you're there on time, or can you travel in with me?"
And that's something I didn't do. But here, unbeknownst to you guys, what I did this time was I didn't create an event for this. I actually went the personal approach. You're allowed to go ooh as well. You have to boo and
Didn't
ooh.
deserve it.
Yeah, no, it didn't at all. But I went the personal approach, which was to invite each of my friends individually. So what I would have had to have done if I was running late, which I was, is that I would have had to message each of them individually.
Inviting people.
No. No, but everyone like creates this event. I'm like, it's just like a lasso, and whoever falls in the lasso.
That's not how events work.
Hang on. When
You think that you just cast your net into the public and hope that there's a friend in there?
No, but everyone's creating these
Corey
central events.
Worthington over here, just take it out.
No, because Josh, a couple of weeks ago, you had birthday shoots.
That's an old reference.
It's a very old reference. The 18 and 19-year-olds would not understand that reference. But Josh, you had birthday drinks a couple of weeks ago, and you created a WhatsApp thread. Isn't it awkward? Is there anything more awkward than being part of a WhatsApp thread where you don't know half the people? And you have to think all the time.
No, and
God, is this joke going to land?
Well, then there's
Meaning that one.
But the ball's got to get rolling as well. When there's the unknown people in the thread, the ball's got to get rolling by someone else, and that's very difficult to do.
The funniest thing was, I sat down and I saw Josh arrive. I was like, "This is great, good, okay." Josh pulls in. The first thing he says, he goes, "Where's Dion?" I go, "He's not here yet." Great, I'm going to talk about this at the show.
It's just our lives. That's what this is.
But I reckon that you, Dion, had an obligation to arrive for a birthday event.
Yes.
You had an obligation to arrive 30 minutes.
No.
Early?
30
At
minutes.
a lawn bowls club, it wasn't even open.
Okay, fine. If it was a smaller gathering,
Yep.
15 minutes, all right? If it's a larger thing
Do you reckon?
at night, 30 minutes because
No.
you don't... Okay.
What do you
know
got?
what's hell?
10.
No, you know what's hell? Is if people start arriving and you're still doing all the technical stuff with the staff.
yeah.
How much is on the tab? Oh, can we have those beers? Yeah. Get that out of the way.
Sorry, the whole discussion at the Law Balls Club took maybe 30 seconds.
I know!
I had already done it all.
Yeah, no, I know!
And Christian's making it out as if he, like, I set up the ABN for the Lawn Bowls Club. Then I got the signage done.
But 30 minutes is way too long. Who thinks 30 minutes for a pre-arrival? No one.
Use the touchpad. Use the touchpad in front of you. In front of you.
Look at the
Chairs.
audience.
Hang on. Let me establish the context.
Okay.
You've organised going away drinks. You're leaving to go overseas for 2 years. Okay? You're having your going away farewell event.
Yep.
How early do you arrive? I say 30 minutes.
That is just, mate. This isn't. You're not going to.
I got one nod of the head. Thank you, sir.
But you're saying it like.
Come over here.
Yeah. But you're saying it like you're going to the airport. Like you. Like how? Oh my God! How far in advance do you arrive at the airport? Jesus.
What do you mean? You arrived 3 hours before.
So, hang on.
For a domestic flight.
Are you expecting people to arrive early?
It's not about when people are arriving.
Yes,
it's
it
about
is.
you feeling secure that you've done everything, and then you can get into the mode and the mood. You know, people arrive and you're already sitting there with.
I'll give you something. It is lovely. If you go to a house party, I'll give you... Yeah, it's lovely going to a house party and catching up with the host before everyone arrives.
Yeah.
Or if there are new people there. A lot of people... Christian, you'd hate that, I reckon. Go to a house party, having to meet a few new people. You'd be like, no, I just want to be around my friends, people I know.
Yeah,
There you go, got him.
until they introduce me to the new people.
Yes, there you go.
But
And
the
they were
thing
all...
is,
we're all-
Dion,
yeah.
what you were talking about being fashionably late, I think the new early is on time. So you don't need the half-hour buffer.
Yeah.
If you're getting there...
No,
at
not
two-
as the host.
No, yeah, no. But I mean for guests though, right? If you're worried about guests arriving, if you arrive on time as a guest,
Yep.
that's early. You're
Yes,
never
yes,
arriving
it is.
before the time.
Yes,
Ever.
correct.
Ever.
I love how Josh tries to coin a new... I feel like he tries to coin a new phrase every time. The new early. Never heard that before? Just tries to slip it into pop culture.
Should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it. And now it's time for Oh Wow of the Week. Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Dumb, that's a thing.
Trained well. Dragonflies have 6 legs, but can't walk.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
You got Craig Willis in the corner over here.
Oh, that's great.
So, Dion,
Yes,
you
oh.
and I went out for some brunch
Yep.
a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
It was a Saturday.
It was so nice.
It was
I
lovely.
got the chili scramble.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Actually, I got the chili scramble. You got the thing with the enormous amount of sides.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, I didn't eat anything. Anyway.
Irrelevant.
But we went on a Saturday morning because we figured we could go early and
Yep.
then
On time.
on time. But as we arrived,
Yes.
we had a plethora of tables to select from.
Yep.
Walked in, grabbed our seats, had a light conversation.
Yeah. It was pretty
Nothing,
light.
It was light,
Yeah.
just a bit of back and forth. Eventually, the wait staff came, laid the cutlery down. I paused the conversation
Yeah.
to let them do their job out of respect.
Yep.
You kept talking at me, prompting me to keep talking while they were there.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're not arbitering the conversation. They're just a prop in that whole scene.
They're not Judge Judy of the conversation. What are you talking about?
Everyone's a prop in your
No,
life.
it's more that great. It's great people know. Thank you. No, it's more that I think that they are there to. They're not. You're thinking that they're cognizant of that conversation when they're putting stuff down, but they're just doing their job.
No, it's not about them listening in.
Yeah.
It's more so about us going, cool, there's someone here.
Yep.
Let's pause, take a moment, respect their presence, give them the appropriate thank yous. I reckon the most you can do
Yep.
is start a fresh, quick conversation that they're a part of.
Oh, and Christian, if you're going to think on your feet now, what's going to be that conversation?
Oh, it's
what are you going to say?
Oh, it's just
Something like the knives are filthy. Take them back.
Can I ask a clarifying question? Yeah. Was this the first interaction you'd had with that particular waitstaff?
Ooh.
No, it wasn't. Remember,
No.
because
Okay.
Dion and I couldn't decide whether she really appreciated our jokes with her or whether she was hating it.
We're not like that all the time. We don't want to make out as we're cracking gags all the time.
No, that's true. Yeah, but
We're not
this
even doing this to the
particular
show.
time- No, it's because we were trying to leave flyers there.
Yeah, that's
and we
right.
thought we'd get him in a good mood.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
right.
strike later.
So I think when they first arrive, definitely engage. I think if they're coming back just to place, that generally is a pretty silent moment.
Okay, do you know what's funny, Christian? I don't think you recall this. When Christian, when the waitress put down the cutlery, Christian, do you remember what you said? What do you think you said? This is honestly what Christian said. Put down the cutlery. Oh, thank you very much. That is too, like, that is...
Where are they going from there?
That's too
If
much.
they like save you from walking out to the train tracks or something, you've got nowhere to go.
It's unbelievable. Like, it's just...
Yeah, I do have difficulty escalating the gratitude.
Yeah. It was just, yeah. And then you should have seen him at the end going up to the chef.
Do you mind if I just step back here for a moment?
So I think I think if it's the second engagement, you don't need to necessarily engage directly with them, because I found that the cutlery place is always a very silent thing. I think there's always a bit of a lean though.
Yeah.
If they're coming around the shoulder, it's always just a bit of that, and that to me is always going to stop the conversation.
So the convo stops, right?
I think so.
Is that a mechanical thing that kind of disconnects the conversation when you kind of
But I
do
think,
this?
yeah, if you have to adjust in any way rather than that sort of silently just coming along and putting it down, it's completely void of it. You can carry on, I think.
But you don't think it's rude to continue the conversation and just do a little quick like...
So what I will do is I will wait and I'll give the thanks at the end of the cutlery place.
But you're still talking whilst the cutlery's going down?
Depending on the sensitivity.
Okay, so we just got insight. We record this podcast and we get like 0 laughs back, obviously, because we're just doing it in a room. More of that. More of that. More of the... Yes!
Thanks at the end.
I think the biggest thing...
Thanks at the start!
No! The biggest consideration
What
about
are you
stopping
thanking them for? They haven't even placed anything
No,
down.
not when they arrive.
Pre-thanks.
Thank you for your presence. No, it's cutlery goes down in front of you. You're not setting the table, right? That's what
Yeah.
you're thanking them for.
I like the thank you. I'm so sorry, but I love the thank you for your presence thing. It's like, first I just want to say thank you so much for being here. That's what you do at the start of a show. That's what we did at the start of this show.
Is there a thing?
And
Is there
check under your seats, you'll have cutlery under there.
Is there such a thing as over-thanking waitstaff?
Oh, I mean, yeah, there is. Yeah. Yeah.
But to get back to do you stop the conversation, I think it depends on the sensitivity of the conversation.
Right.
So if you're talking about something particularly sensitive, as a personal matter or family matter, I think it cuts like a snap, and I think that's super obvious.
But yeah, that's super obvious, right?
Which is
It's
fine. And
abrasive.
no, but I've worked in restaurants and it's like, oh, they must be talking about something serious because they stopped when I got here. So I'm like, cool.
But you want... I want it to be as easy as possible for the waitstaff.
Sure.
Right? So you don't want them to feel alienated when they get there and start shaking as they
So
put their
if
camera
you're
down.
talking about some really sensitive thing, I don't know, maybe you've
Sensitive
got...
documents.
Sure, maybe you've got... You're shredding some tax files. If you're committing a crime and you're talking about it, you're going to keep talking. Say in a
No.
say you've got an itch somewhere.
Yeah.
Wink. Are you continuing to have that conversation? Hey Dion,
How do we
I
get-
woke up the other morning.
So how do we get from committing a crime to an itch?
Because that's more likely.
Okay.
Let's be clear.
Is it?
Okay. We're not
you
committing
guy.
crimes.
Is it?
Are you carrying on with that?
No, absolutely. You both missed my point. Person arrives.
Yep.
You stop the conversation. Then you just have friendly like pitter patter between the three of you.
Okay.
Maybe just between the person you're sitting opposite. But it's something that is inclusive.
Okay, so you're never stopping and silently sitting there because that is an awkward moment when
That's hell.
when the table
That's what I'm
stops
avoiding.
and it's like,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and then you do the lean back as they.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
More sound effects. And then
The other incredible thing that happened, which already got us off to a bad start,
God.
was as we arrived, we were one of the first people to arrive there. It was very early in the morning,
Yep.
and I saw a table, two twos that had been pulled together to make 4.
He's getting good. He's getting really good.
warmed up now. So there was a table for 4, and I thought, Dion and I are doing patchwork things this morning. We're going to have some laptops out. What we'll do is sit on the 4. So I said, Dion, let's take the 4. And you said, no, they're not going to let us take the 4.
Yep.
And I was like, but there's no one else here. Surely we can just sit here. So we asked the wait staff, and she said, no, take the 2.
Yeah.
There may be a large family that comes later on this morning that needs the bigger table.
A large family of 4.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I think that's completely reasonable. I think we went for it. We did our best to get the 4, and it was in a better position as well, because the table of 2, that was very strange, because I was, this is good stagecraft, I was here, and there was a window, and literally a guy just sitting there.
On a stool.
That far from him.
From his crotch as well.
Yeah, where I wanted to be.
And he didn't acknowledge you. He didn't acknowledge you at all, or the situation.
No, he didn't. His crutch did, though.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Were there any other 4-seaters?
Tap on the window.
Were there any other 4-seaters?
The place was empty.
Yeah.
So there were other 4-seaters.
Honestly, when we left,
Just
there were
answer the
still
question.
seats.
Answer the question. Were there
Yes.
4-seaters.
I don't think there were outside. I don't reckon there were.
Not only were there 4-seaters, there was the large communal table. There were more 2-seaters. There were 8-seaters. There were tables everywhere. I couldn't understand it.
I think it's fine if they anticipate a bit of a lunchtime rush and they want to make sure that's free.
Lunchtime rush? It was so early.
Brunch rush.
I said to them, hey, we'll move if that large hypothetical family arrives.
Yeah. So Josh, what are you doing? You go with a friend, table of 4. Are you trying to capture that table of 4?
If the table is of 4 is in a much superior spot. Say there's the drafty window, the drafty chair by the door. That's the 2. I don't want that. If there's a free 4 at the back, then I've got a great spot. So I prefer that. But if they direct me to a table, I'm taking wherever they tell me to go. I'm not arguing that.
Very reasonable and quite
Always
surprising,
is.
to be honest. Yeah, always is.
Always ends the conversation with
Right. Move on. Here at Welcome to Patchwork, as you guys know, we like to improve your vocabulary. So today we'll be doing, as we love to do, a patchword of the day. So Dion, what's the word of the day?
Jakub. I just thought that would get a laugh, just the name, Jakub. Jakub had picked the perfect moment. Danny was the love of his life and meant everything to him. She was kind, beautiful, and Jewish. Jakub's heart was beating fast as ever. He grasped the ring in his hand and took a deep breath and slowly knelt down and looked up at her. Suddenly, Jakub felt an odd sensation. Danny looked at him with searching eyes, to which Jakub said, with tears in his eyes, I think I may have damaged my...
meniscus.
The patchword of the day is...
meniscus.
All right. I've got one as well. When Daryl ordered off the Chinese-only menu, he had no idea what he would receive. Just a number 14, thanks, he said nervously. When a bowl of what looked like thick soup was placed in front of him, he took a sip, grimaced, and said, what a weird...
substance.
Patchword of the day is...
substance.
Thank you, Josh. I'll try to do this.
Also, just
Can you hold that in front of me?
We have not heard these. If you haven't noticed, we've not heard each other's.
Better. Where it started. Ruth continued to cry for help as the grip on her handbag loosened.
Ruth got you.
The balaclava-clad man could sense that the Louis Vuitton knockoff was almost his. With a dramatic jerk, the man's force ripped the bag open at the seams and threw both of them to the street. Confused, the man stood up, dusted himself off, shouted at Ruth, "Great, thanks to you, I've injured my..."
Shoulder.
The patchword of the day is...
Shoulder.
That was a sports special.
Yeah,
The patchword of the day.
It really was. Very sore.
Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned.
It's good to have you here, my son, at the pop-up confessional, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
It's great to be back. I'm just so glad we're doing live confessionals once again. It's such a thrill.
Yeah, I'm recording them as well. You can tune into my podcast later.
Now, Father, I requested a refund for a product I ordered online, and then it arrived the next day.
Ooh. It arrived the next day.
Yeah.
That's it. Did you... I'm assuming that you returned the item.
No, Father, I did not.
You kept the item.
Yes.
I mean, there are parallels, my son, to a certain Judas, if you've read the Bible.
Not familiar?
He was a strange man, my son. Kept a lot of Amazon deliveries. Tell me, my son, was there an estimated time of delivery for this product?
Yes, Father. It was between January 17, 2021 and July 18, 2023. It was a big window.
Huge window, my son. Did you think to ask the delivery company?
No, Father, I just presumed it had been lost in transit, as orders are wanted to do.
My son, what are your plans for said delivery now that you've acquired it?
Keep it. And the money.
And the money. My son, this is greed of the highest order.
$5.26. Your father. Your father? You're not a judge. Or my father.
My son,
Yes.
your penance is to search for a product in Google, click on the first link, be happy with that item, go to purchase it, and then realize that it's actually an Amazon US link. In fact, they don't stock the product in Australia.
That will be agonizing, but I understand. Thank you, Father.
Thank you, my son.
Thank you. It works. The door works.
Thank you for knocking, my son.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I opened the door at my place last night, and I let a little moth in, Father.
Let a little moth in.
Let a little moth in.
Sounds like a disco hit, my son. Another of God's winged creatures. Also, moth. One of my favourite words. Moth.
Mine too, Father.
Moth.
Mine too.
Say
Only
it
the way
with me,
you say
son. Moth.
it. Moth.
Moth.
We get the audience.
the-
We get the audience to say it. 1, 2, 3.
Moth. The moth of God.
Should we get on with it, Father?
Sure. Tell me, my son, had you lit a flame inside?
I just came home, Father, unless there was a fire when I came home.
Well, I'm assuming you understand that moths are attracted to flames.
Yeah, I didn't think attracted in that way, though, Father.
Was this a particularly erect moth, my son?
It did hurt a bit, Father. I mean, you started it. No, the moth started it, let's be honest.
My son, tell me, is someone inside afraid of moths?
Not afraid, Father, and I did do all I could to get rid of it. I even put up one of those sticky pantry moth things.
Whilst it was inside?
Yeah. What are those things, Father?
The sticky moth things?
Yeah. It seemed quite cruel.
They are quite cruel. Actually, do you find it interesting, my son, that moths always tend to die stuck against a wall?
Sticky wall, yeah.
No, just any given wall. They have some weird adhesive on their feet after they die, and then you think they're alive, and you go to shoo them, and then they just fall. Do you find that odd, my son?
I find it a bit more odd, Father, that moths like clothes as well. Because no other creatures in the animal kingdom eat clothes.
You don't use mothballs, my son?
I do, but they stink. And really, Father, we've gone to the moon. Is that the best solution we've got to wade away moths?
My son, tell me, did you kill this moth?
I captured it, my father, in my hands, and it unfortunately asphyxiated the moth before it was stuck.
And did you give it its last rites?
What would have those rights been, Father?
Not to be held accountable for what it says after being arrested?
I did. Yes,
Very
I
good,
did.
my son. Your penance is to... Your penance, my son, is to have a moth flutter in front of your reading lamp at night and scare you with its large shadow on the wall.
But I don't read, Father.
Then, my son, your penance... Your penance, my son, is to have that very same moth stick to your wall and create some sort of wallpaper that you are stuck with in a colour you aren't very favourable towards.
Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father.
Thank you.
All right. So, actually, who's kicking this one off? Is it you, Christian?
Yeah. So,
And you're doing this stuff on the iPad, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Very recently, I have started to take a particular interest in my style of chopping and getting a very acute focus on how I chop. I think I'm at an age now that you have to refine your skills, right? If you're going to be cooking for yourself, and we're all trying to save money,
Yep.
you want to make sure that what you're cooking has some nice cut ingredients inside of it, right?
Are you assessing the result of your chopping? Like, nailed that one.
Yeah.
Look how even that is.
No, you're not.
I feel as though
You're at an age where you are boring.
I've really excelled in my fine chopping.
Out of all,
I
out of
can't
all the
get-
developed arguments Josh has had, that's almost his best one. Boring.
I can't get large chunks right.
As in they're too uneven.
Yeah.
But you're good at a fine chop.
Love a fine
What are we
chop.
What veggie are we talking?
For a fine chop.
Yeah.
I reckon give me your ginger, give me your garlic, give me any herb, fine chop,
Any herb. Even basil.
especially basil.
Okay,
Why wouldn't it be basil?
Although don't chop basil.
Oh, really? Is it a crush?
Oh, we heard a yes, another yes.
A crush? No, you just give it a little slap.
Dirty basil.
What are your chopping skills like?
Mine are okay. I think that I had an incident with one of those V-shaped slices, which yeah,
The mandolin
the
type.
the mandolin. So I was playing it, and then I
A feudal lord came over.
with a bunch of vegetables in their arms. But yeah, I was cutting up carrots using one of those mandolins. It's still funny. And I was doing this, and I just went nuts and just took off a bit of my
So isn't it a static thing?
I'm sorry. Is what a static thing?
The V-shaped thing. Don't you stick it in the end and just do that?
Yeah, I was doing that,
You
but
were doing that?
I wasn't using the safety guard on it.
Oh.
Anyway.
So what weren't you using?
It was the safety guard.
And what happened?
But it was but that has killed all my confidence. Before that, I was a great chopper. They called me Chopper.
So you got some kind of performance anxiety now when you're chopping.
Absolutely, and it's hell, and it's an absolute nightmare.
And now you're back to knives.
And now I'm back to knives. So
have you got a go-to knife? Is there one you're always reaching for and you're like, I'm doing some veggie chopping here?
my desert island knife.
Yeah.
It's always on a desert island, isn't it?
Yeah, a knife to cut up a record.
Yeah, little serrated boy. We might have talked about this in a patch. Little
Vitrinox one.
Vitrinox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you taught me what a Vitrinox was.
Well, I mean, Vitrinox taught me what a Vitrinox was, so we're all good.
They're great for most things. I always go for the biggest knife I can. I just like the it's like that thick.
That's weird.
And I'm loving that.
What do you think of that?
Yeah, big knife.
What? Biggest knife?
Big knife, big chop.
Do you do the knuckle curl? Because
Oh, yeah.
sometimes I trick myself into thinking that that's helping. I'm like, I'm rubbing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I've seen them do it on the telly. Like, yeah, curl the knuckles. That'll save you cutting a finger off.
But it's like, I don't understand how that works because you'll cut a knuckle off.
Sorry?
Isn't that how it works?
You'll cut your knuckle off?
Yeah, the knuckle's the next thing down, isn't it?
Yeah,
You can put the safety guard on your knife, Dion.
I know, I need one on my knuckles.
we need training wheels for knives.
Have you got a favourite thing to chop? When you get to chopping, I'm like, I love this one. It's the best.
Yes. I love chopping zucchini.
Okay.
Zucchini fans, we knew we'd have them here.
Yeah.
They always turn up.
Yeah, I love chopping zucchini and parsley, I'd say.
And Christian, what about to chop on? Let's move this discussion to something completely different.
Hang on, I want to know what is it about the zouk that you're loving?
What I love about a zouk is that...
So you're not thinking Mark Zucchiniberg?
What I love about a zucchini is that it's got good integrity.
It's trustworthy.
like Mark Zucchiniberg, yeah.
You can lend your car to the zucchini. You're going to get it back in good nick.
It can withstand a Senate inquiry session.
The zucchini's just sweating.
Great visual.
No, because if you chop off the tips and then give yourself a good length of zucchini, it's firm. Then you could just do whatever you want with it.
It's good.
You can get some sticks. Do you know what confuses me actually? As much as I love capsicum, I'm never sure. Wait a second. Everyone, wait a second. Never sure when to go long or the cubey chop.
Yeah,
I was going to
chop.
say capsicum is the most confusing one to cut.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start. I don't know the best way, the best form.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
What on earth is the shape of a capsicum? Try and describe it.
Bell.
No, that's pepper.
Nah.
I'd go a cylinder that's been tucked in on the end.
With seeds in it.
Yeah, with seeds. I think my brother actually taught me this, which is a great tactic. I don't know if it's his personal one. I think he's just sitting over there. So you flip the capsicum upside down so the stem's on the bottom, and then you kind of go down the seams of the capsicum, and you just cut around the middle, and then all the bits just fall off, and then you've got like 5 little bits to go.
Why do we not have... If we had zucchini capsicum, we could have done a whole cooking show as well. We could have crossed this up.
Could have been Jim Owen 20 years ago.
Oh, we can do that for next week, actually. That's perfect.
Oh yeah, let them know.
That'd be way better, that show.
Yeah, let's just write that down.
What about you, Dan? What's your favourite thing to chop?
My favourite thing to chop is spring onion. Is there any
that's
spring
good.
onion or
That's
chives,
good.
people?
Yes.
No?
Spring onion.
I've got a yes and a no from this corner. Spring onion, like
Love spring onion.
Yeah, it's great.
Can I posit why you love it?
Sure.
Because you've got the 2 different consistencies as you go.
Yeah.
You've got the loose, floppy, ringy bit.
Yeah.
And then you've got it's quite dense at the end, isn't it?
It's good stuff. We've got the crowd all on board. You can tell, can't you?
My favourite thing about chopping a spring onion is that it's same as chili.
So
same as a
this
chili.
is to show what we're doing right now.
Same as a chili is that it's the only vegetable that makes me feel like a professional chef.
Oh.
If I just cut it on a little bit of an angle and then throw it on top of something, I'm like, Jesus, you're great.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Can I ask you a question? So we're talking about chopping, but then the chopping board.
Can I say what my favourite thing is?
No, absolutely not. I want to get to the chopping boards. I'm just wondering, why do wooden boards not get ruined? I've had a wooden board for 3 years, and why doesn't it have big cuts in it?
But surely they're like cured and stuff, right?
Cured?
Like a meat, they hang in the
Absolutely
wall.
not. Absolutely not going to talk about this. None of us know. Move on.
Yeah.
Josh. We received so much feedback that we had to stray from anything to do with science.
Very fair. Josh, what's your favourite thing to chop?
I love celery. It's
Yeah.
great. It's got that crunch. And the best thing about the celery is that with an individual stick, you can put it on the stem bit so it sits flat and it's not rolling around like a carrot might.
Oh.
So you've got a stable base,
yes,
like a little U shape. You've got a stable base and you've got a great sound as you go.
Well designed.
Yeah.
Darwin did something right, didn't he?
Yeah, celery, the atheist nightmare. But I love chopping a celery. You've got good sound, you've got good crunch, and you've got that stable base. And I think that's the perfect thing to cut on a Sunday afternoon.
I think on that note,
Alrighty, so what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. Just stretch your legs, go to the toilet, grab a drink. The bar's just up here. Very quick one, though. So we'll be coming back after the break. We're doing really goods, wrapping up the show, and then it is time for the People's Patch. So that's your chance to get up here, have a chat to us, get involved in the show. You will have a few minutes when we leave here to get any last really goods in. So if you want to get some of them in, the board is downstairs in the corner. Chuck a really good up. We'll be doing those after the break. Finish off the show. But yeah, just a very quick break. Stretch your legs, grab a drink, come back.
Oh, I don't know if you mentioned it. We've got mugs on sale as well, and we've got 2 varieties of mugs.
That'll be after the show, though.
Oh, after the show. Sorry,
Yes.
after the show. Prep your cards.
So you guys, quick break, back in 5 minutes. Alrighty. Thanks for rejoining us. Hope you had a nice little stretch of the legs and that kind of stuff. We're going to need a little bit of help.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Run us through a list, Josh.
Not your best, Josh.
Stretch your meniscus. So yeah, we're going to need a little bit of help with this next segment. So can we please get up Alex D, Amanda, and
Ilana.
You want to come up, guys?
Come up and
Make
stage.
your way up. Got
Round
all
of
three.
applause.
Round of applause.
And just to kick... Oh, you can get a hug as well. Do you want to give us a hug? My hands are full. And just to kick us off, just so you get into the rhythm of it... Oh, Alex, please. I'm so sorry. You're a guest. Just to kick us off, you know what's really good? When you pick up a pair of pants and your favourite belt is already on the pants.
Oh, really good.
Really good.
Dion, do it now.
You know what's really good? When you wave away a windscreen washer at the traffic lights and they respect your decision.
Really good. And can I say, Amanda, who's an amazing fan of the show, she created the little pillow down there. She knitted the blanket over there. So thanks to Amanda. Amazing.
It's really good when your crumpet is warm enough to melt the butter, but it's still got that little firm bit on top.
Really good.
You know what's really, really good? When you walk and your foot falls perfectly square on the paver.
Yes.
Really good. You know what's really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really good.
Thank you,
Thanks,
mate.
guys.
Oh, thank you so much for coming
thank
along
you
today.
very much.
It's been such a pleasure.
For the cutlery.
Ordinarily at the end of the show, it's not the end of the show, it's half an hour to go, but I would say follow us on social media. Out of interest, who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Hand up.
I know my folks don't.
That's great. That's good. Direct line of communication. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming. It's been amazing, but as we said, we've got the People's Patch coming up next. But as we really do in every patch, we sew a new quilt into our...
Do we? Say that one again?
Sew a new patch into our quilt of friendship, as if I haven't said that enough over the years. Josh, what was in your patch this week?
Thank you, Dion. My patch this week was you two talking about a crime at brunch, then getting arrested by a moth who promptly reads you your last moth rights.
Hard act to follow.
Christian, what patch did you say this week?
This week, I sewed into my patch, Dion and I sitting at a tiny cafe table for 2, looking jealously over at the group of 4 large moths that just arrived. And Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
My patch this week is a waiter coming into this venue while we're performing the show, and Christian insisting the 3 of us stop talking until the waiter leaves. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork. For today, I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
And what have you been?
Oh, there've been a studio audience? That's
Sure.
what we did last
Yeah.
time. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
We've...
I don't even know what to say. This happened last
It's
time.
live audience.
Anyway.
Why would they be a studio audience?
I don't know. It's not even a studio.
One more time. Go.
Okay.
Live
Great
audience.
question. What are they doing? Live audience?
Live
And we've
audience.
been a live audience. Great.
I'm sorry, what's better? And we've been an audience.
Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork. For today, I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
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 Alrighty. Now, it's time for the People's Patch. So if anyone would like to come up, anything you want to talk about, we're open for business. So does anyone have maybe a bone to pick, something we talked about in the show that we missed, something that happened 50 episodes ago? You guys are idiots. Don't talk about science. Anything anyone would like to talk about?
And don't pretend like there's not something you disagreed with, because there's plenty.
And if you're not comfortable coming up, you can just shout from the audience. That's why we've got someone. Would you like to come up?
Please, come up on stage.
Come on up.
Hello,
Please sit down.
Oh, should I turn around this way or this way? Depends which way this
yeah, we go.
lead is. That way?
Nice little
Okay.
pirouette. Perfect.
Thank you. Otherwise, well,
What's your name?
James.
Big round of applause to James, everybody.
Thank you, James.
So sorry for being the first one to put his hand up.
No,
Thank you for putting your hand up.
Yeah, it's what we paid you for.
It's going to be a long half hour otherwise.
I'll come through with the goods. I just can't get out of my head, and like all throughout that intermission, what you were actually eating celery for.
I don't eat celery by itself. I'm not like a celery snacker with the peanut butter and the ants on a log.
We treat each other badly. We don't treat guests like that. Great point, James.
Thank you.
James, do you ever use celery in your cooking?
I use celery for broth.
That's it?
That's it.
Broth and broth.
Okay. And maybe in a chicken sandwich.
In a chicken sandwich?
Yeah, I'll chop up celery really finely.
Whoa.
Thank you.
That is divisive.
Relax on the chicken sandwich.
So who is pro celery in the chicken sanger? And who thinks, get that celery out of my chicken sanger?
Okay, hang on. Guys, just a second. So, the celery in the chicken sandwich, it's all about the chop. So you have to cut it up. Hang on. And also, I want to know, the people who booed me for that, is it...
It's not very nice,
Just
is it?
hold your thoughts for a second, guys. No, like, it depends on what constitutes a chicken sandwich to you. If you're some...
I've got a pretty good idea, mate.
All right.
Great question.
If you're some bullshit like, chop up some chicken and put it in the sandwich. Yeah, that's a chicken sandwich. And you're gonna chuck up some big, shocking like chunks of celery.
Wings.
That's what you think it's gonna be. But no, the chicken sandwich, you have very well cooked chicken, and it's not just like shitty dry chicken breast. Then you put it in with mayo and like a little bit of lemon juice and some nice herbs, and then you chop up. Because that's all mushy. You chop up the celery really finely with some crunch.
Why is he getting so many? You've got more
Right.
yeses.
Am I right? Or some walnuts. Yes.
Hang on. James, it almost sounds like you just came up here to tell people a recipe for a chicken sandwich to get validation.
Guys, I've got an app. You should check it out. It's great.
No, but I legitimately, apart from that is true. But apart from that, I don't know what other use celery has.
I use my celery pretty much exclusively. I make like a vegetarian bolognese. Christian doesn't like me using that word to describe that thing because it's not a proper bolognese, right?
What do you mean?
Here we go. You've told me about that before.
We're on. No. All I've said is the proper bolognese has celery in its base.
Does it?
That's right.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, the celery heart. Celery heart. The celery heart. You don't know there's the rest of the celery.
Christian,
Isn't it just the heart?
Do we need a higher authority on Italian cooking up on the stage?
My mum's here.
Christian's mum's here. Just. Thank you so much. So there's a couple of choices here.
Thank you, James. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James. Well, there's a couple of choices. So, first choice, a yes or no to the celery question.
What, for me?
Second choice, your mum comes up here, Christian. What's it going to be? Has to be comfortable, of course. Maybe a yes or no.
Mum, come on.
If you want to. It's no stress.
Great.
So the question is, does celery belong in a bolognese?
Yeah, it's a quick question. I mean, it could expand out to other things, I imagine.
Can I just say, and mum, you'll back me up here as well. I grew up knowing that.
The eyes!
Up.
There's 200 eyes in this room.
One thing that we grew up knowing was that celery is negative calories. Right? So celery is an appropriate snack. Cut your celery up, cut your carrot up in a bag, in the gob.
I mean, you are the ultimate person to ask about this because you create these incredible platters like the world's never seen. It's unbelievable. When we've had guests come over to Jonah's house...
Just so everyone's clear, the studio is a bedroom in Jonah's house, so thank you so much for having us every fortnight.
Made with your bare hands, that bedroom.
All right, Mum. Growing up, the base of a bolognese: celery, carrot.
Hang on. Hang on.
Jonah's out.
Hang on. No. Say it in Italian.
Okay. When you make a bolognese sauce, it depends what part of Italy you're from.
Hang on.
So
It's amazing how the world works, isn't it?
Every region in Italy makes their own bolognese. So the way we do it from Calabria, my parents, we don't.
Up here. She really wants to go off. How does this thing work?
We don't put celery in our one. We don't do it. So it's just onion.
Great.
Amazing.
It's been my mum.
But the correct way, Northern Italy, you do put carrot, put celery, you chop it up with onion, and you fry it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jonah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. All right. Anyone else got anything that you'd like to chat about? So you guys are making the show right now. This is good stuff.
Yeah, let's move off vegetables. Maybe
Can the house lights up a bit? Is anyone?
House lights up a tiny bit.
Yes. Okay. Cool. So the question was, how early did you arrive to the show?
Yeah.
Was that a question for us or everyone in the audience?
What do you think?
So, for a professional comedy performance, we arrived about an hour before.
Yeah. I mean, Josh, you suggested 12 for a 1 o'clock start. I pushed it to 11:45,
Dion, which is pointless. We sent a message, but I sent the message saying 12 o'clock for arrival.
Yep. Oh, sorry.
And then you followed up and was like, "How about 11:45?"
Yeah.
What's happening in that 15 minutes?
No, but the thing is that you have to. You guys would understand this. We disagree on everything. It's unbelievable. So even look at the notes that we've got, each of us. It's all on different substances. I've got an iPad. I've got an iPad. You've got a book. You've got pieces of paper. I have to do the thing. I have to do the deed, which is to go, you know what? Not 12, 11:45.
It's always so fun organising things.
It's great, isn't it?
Also, the other thing, you wanted to do a brunch at 10.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I want to sleep in.
Here we go. Wind up. Bone to pick with Josh. Haven't had one yet. All right. We were meant to be doing 2 comedy festival shows last year, right? It got cancelled. Big lead up. I suggest this morning, hey, let's go for brunch at 10. What do you think Josh said when I suggested that? Josh, what did you say?
No, I'd rather sleep in and just meet at the venue.
Unbelievable.
No.
Unbelievable.
I'm getting up that early. Why do I want to get up particularly early?
Because
when we've got
you're doing a show together.
Yeah, I want to get my normal time, so I'm in normal zone.
This is now getting really personal. Someone over here had a suggestion they wanted to come on
Do you
stage.
wanna come up?
Yes, please come up.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Sam looks familiar.
Hello, I'm Sam.
Sam's been a fan of the podcast for many years. Possibly our longest ever fan.
Oh, that's huge. I think Christian's mum is the first fan. I wanted to say bone to pick, and I've had this bone to pick for a while, but I've sat on it.
Great.
I've sat on this. And this is really confronting to say to your faces.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I don't think Josh has ever pronounced Dion.
Yes.
I'm just saying it.
He's gotten better. Oh. We've been friends for 10 years, mate.
Yes.
Just should roll off the tongue.
It does.
I'm not
Dion.
I'm not sure. I've never understood where Dion came from in your mind.
It came from mispronouncing my name. Chiefly.
So my follow-up bone to pick
Yes.
is that if it was bothering you, I wondered why it is that you brought it to the podcast rather than just saying it to him. Why did you bring it into our lives?
A beautiful question. A beautiful question.
Sorry, and the lady that said was because we don't care.
No, it's an amazing question. There's such a solid reason for it.
You polarized your audience. You've got for and against.
So just to say, in the early days,
that was. If we really want to polarize the audience, we just start that.
So early days, I thought Josh was saying my name, Dion. as Sam was alluding to then, and it sort of blew up. It was in the media, all this kind of stuff. But Sam, to your point, the reason why I brought it up on the show is because when we bring things up like this, it's such a safe space. It's such a safe space because it means you don't get the wrath of Josh in real life. You get the welcome to Patchwork wrath.
You give him the parameters for anger.
Yeah, it's a real smile now. Loving it.
But that's the reason. Patchwork has become this coping mechanism for us all to deal with Josh's anger.
So is it likely that you never thought that you'd have a big audience here because you had your safe space in your studio, but you've now got your polarized audience sitting in front of you?
That's right. Yes. We never expected this. Well, sportsmen always say that, right? Did you ever expect that you'd get to this point of winning a grand final? No, we didn't expect this.
Yeah.
Didn't expect this.
Well, especially to get in front of people and talk about a recipe for bolognese.
Yeah, I never saw that coming. And ridiculous that most of the show was recipes.
Yeah, that's what happens.
One of my favourite things about creating the show is that often just in our life there's something, particularly if there's 2 or 3 of us out, something will happen and one of us just go, don't say anything else, talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
And we just stop each other and go, save it.
Yeah, especially for arguments.
Yeah, it's great.
So we basically save our arguments now for the show.
Yeah. And we never have proper chats because we're always just saving them and saving them for the show. Anyway, thank you, Sam. That was a great point.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you. Great to meet you.
Oh, so glad that's out in the open. Do we have anyone else
2:14.
here? 2:14.
Plenty of time, guys.
Plenty of time. Anyone else?
Anything in the show today that we missed, that a little tangent you would have liked us to chase?
Just a question you've got about the podcast or anything?
Someone down here?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, still would love to have you up. Hello. Hi, Linda.
Okay, so this kind of leads off your last podcast episode as well as today, the napkin talk.
Yes.
Now, this happened to me last night. We were out for dinner and it was sort of like a fancy-ish place with not their paper napkins, like fabric napkins.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see the waitress, and like fancy. And also leads on from waitress talk, but when I could see the waitress coming around to my seat to it's becoming my turn to get my napkin, I took my napkin, put it on my own lap. Oh. Now, once she left the table, I was then asked, why did you do that? And I'm like, there's just something weirdly uncomfortably intimate about someone putting a napkin on my lap. So I just prefer, is that rude? Is that acceptable?
Honestly, so when else do you openly pull yourself, make your lap available for a stranger to interact with?
Yes. So I'd just rather avoid that altogether. But then I'm like, well, I've taken her job away from her.
Yeah. That's one module of the course.
You're like those people who I throw rubbish on the ground, it keeps them in a job. I got to back off so I can do it. But so the other people in your party, did the waitress all the way to put them on? Point of order. Point of order, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you end up dropping anything on the napkin?
Not that I'm aware of, no, not to my knowledge.
To clarify what was said, you took it off before you ate.
Only because the waitress spilt my wine on the table, so I used my napkin.
Oh, wow.
Completely spilt it?
But
that's a good use of the napkin.
Tipped it and then tried to fill my wine and the bubbles overflowed.
Very
it was her
fancy
first day,
restaurant,
I think.
very fancy.
Yeah. The steak was $85.
$85 for a steak?
That's a whole nother bone to pick.
So I think that if the other members of your party engaged in the ritual of the wait staff putting it on, you should have let that happen and gone with it.
No, I don't know. If you feel uncomfortable,
it's an $85 steak restaurant.
Just hang on.
Get the value for your money.
So you're saying that included in the $85 is the service, the napkin service?
Yeah. There's a cleaning charge of 10%.
I wonder whether any restaurants have an exceptional napkin placing ability. Whether they teach. Yeah, is that a skill that you're taught?
It's a module. It's a module. Yep,
It's a
it is.
certificate 3.
It is.
Because does it have to be done in the one move, or is it unfold, place from far side
Sound like in a
across?
school camp, like whipping people with the napkin.
Out of interest, has everyone here listened to the latest episode of the podcast and the discussion about napkins and tucking in? Does anyone here tuck in their napkins? No. Come on, be bold.
To their waist?
If it's a paper napkin, yes.
Yes.
If it's a cloth napkin, there's a certain way of folding it that makes it easier to like use.
Amazing. I've never thought of folding a cloth napkin.
You've got to once they put it on your lap, you've got to reposition it. So you fold it over and you create a
Genius.
lid so you can like wipe your fingers on.
Oh my God. So why don't they explain that to me?
You've done a course in this, right?
Anyway, thank you, Linda. That was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to do one thing as well that we ask our patrons to submit some stuff as well. One of them that Myron, I don't know if Myron's in tonight.
Myron?
This afternoon? No. Which I really liked. It was, do you consider running/exercise to be considered a social event? Are you having chats with your friend? Because you go running with our friend Chris, and you guys love a chat, don't you?
Yeah, mainly because of him. He's way fitter than I am. And so he keeps talking and I have to say to him...
You're just exhaling the whole time.
Yeah. Basically, it's agreeing. Agreeable grunting. But I said to him, it's like about like 5 to 10 minutes into the run, I'll say, hey, mate, I'm going to go quiet now. Feel free to keep talking at me. I'm listening.
And what do you do to acknowledge stuff that he's saying? Just sweat?
Yeah. No, basically I'll just go, yeah.
You're like special forces putting on night vision goes, I'm going dark.
But yeah, it depends. I guess it depends on the exercise as well, right? Whether it's a leisurely activity. If you're going for a bike ride...
I don't ride. Is a bike ride hard to keep up a conversation? Because you're both at speed. It's good?
No, the speed doesn't affect the conversation.
But the wind surely carries the words behind you.
Sorry, I missed what you said. Turn back around.
In the peloton, you got to keep swapping in front every time you talk. I got to go in front.
Yeah, I think that I've never been fit enough to be able to... And I used to do sprinting. Sprinting at school.
That'd be a conversation.
That'd be pretty
100
tough.
meters.
15 seconds flat. Chat to me. But I've never had that experience of being able to talk whilst doing any exercise, I don't think.
I don't run too much. We've been for like a handful of runs.
You don't run.
No,
what are you talking about?
I took,
really?
No, I don't.
See that
No,
look?
you're right, I don't.
Oh, great. Okay.
I did last year for a bit to get out of the house.
What really frustrated me last year was, COVID. And I was using running as a little bit of an escape from the house. And I saw Josh and I was like, Josh, you know what? You're coming with me. I don't care. And so took him out for a run. What really frustrates me is that by the end of the run, I am exhausted. Josh is still happy for a chat. Barely broken a sweat.
Yeah, it's
Hasn't
pretty annoying.
exercised in bloody... How long? Years.
I used to do netball a few years ago,
We
but
know.
like that was my only exercise.
Eat shapes.
I used to play
Does
for
netball.
Victoria, something like that. I don't know, can't remember. No, I don't like run or jog or do anything that.
But your
it's my
base
stride. It's got to be
level-
my stride, right?
Oh, very frustrating. Gorgeous legs. Just puts the shorts on, and I was like, see, that's what I want, those legs when I run.
I love how Sam's thinking to herself, my God, we've reached really new ground here. We're disputing the pronunciation of Dion's name. Now we're talking about Josh's gorgeous legs.
The gorgeous legs. But yeah, just weren't tight at all.
Yeah, look, I lucky that way. I just lucky. I lucked out, right?
But how did you feel about chatting on the run?
I felt like as we got further into it and the more puff there was, my sentences became shorter. And I kind of, it was in the cadence of the run where you do a few words. Hey, Chris, you want to think about that? How's your mental health? Is it lockdown shit?
All right, I reckon we've got time maybe for one more. Does anyone else, would anyone else like to get up here? It's a once in a... Through
2 year at this point,
something like that. Have we got anyone else that sort of has something they want to know, or this is your shot?
Every time you're in your car shouting at the radio, this is that moment.
I've got one, but I don't want to come up.
Okay, that's fine. Go for it.
If someone's telling you something that you've heard before, do you just listen and agree?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've heard this one before, actually.
That's how you do it. So what was the question?
The question was, if someone is telling you something and you've heard it before, what is your response to it? Is that right? Yeah.
Do you go along with it and act like it's a new piece of information?
I'm a big fan. If it's just a one-on-one, I'm a big fan of the get in early and let them know, save their breath.
Yeah, but it's no
In a very aggressive
no,
tone.
no,
I think. I think that works really well.
Okay, ready?
Shut up.
Ready? Okay. Oh my God! Did you hear about Prince Philip?
Prince Philip.
To be honest, I wasn't massive.
No, you need a story that I've heard before. That's not. We're not talking about common news.
Okay, fine.
Tell a fun story.
Tell a fun story.
Yeah.
So I was on my. So I was going out for a run one night, and I was actually running to your place.
Yep.
And I had a really full stomach.
Yeah.
And
I think you told me that one before. But it's great with you shit yourself and all that kind of stuff. Is that one? Clarify. You got to clarify it's the right story I've heard before.
It did pretty well.
That story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Terribly embarrassing for you, wasn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. You did pretty well.
That is the effect of interrupting someone's story.
No, but okay. So you go through the whole thing again.
Just politely smile and nod. What is it? What is it? What is it to you?
Because if you find out that I've heard, you get to a key point at the end, you go, actually, I think I've told you this before. You're thinking, I wasted all of that time and energy.
But think about how exciting it is that this person is like, Josh is gonna love this. I can't wait.
Josh did love this.
Let's ask a question. Comedy or proper argument? Melbourne International Argument Festival.
Dion?
I'll usually, it depends on the person. So if I know the person really well, I'll sort of do a similar approach to Josh. Sometimes you just got to let it run. Just got to let it run its course. It's a thing you got to do.
I'll let it run in a group context because others may not have heard it. But then I do the dumb thing, which I hate that I do, but I do it, is that I half tune out a bit. And I politely go like, oh yeah, I think I've heard this one before, but go ahead. And I kind of just nod along a bit and just go with it.
And
sorry.
and
your point of order?
What about if it's your parents and you're worried they have dementia?
Oh shit.
What if it's your parent and you're worried they have dementia?
My parents are here today. No comment.
Yeah, there's a lot of smiling and nodding, right?
Yeah.
But that's just generally with parents, right? Just like,
All right. I think that might do it for the show.
Yeah.
A few things, guys. Mugs being sold downstairs if you want to snap up one of those. Also, we'll be down in like 15 minutes, so please hang around, grab a drink at the bar. We're down. We'd love to chat to you all. This is such a unique experience for us to interact with you guys because it's such a solitary experience for the three of us, so we'd love to hang out and have a chat. Big thanks to Jay and Ali running the desk tonight. Thank you. Today. Thanks so much for Comedy Republic for having us. There's plenty of awesome shows here, so get out and see plenty of stuff. The bar's open all throughout the festival as well.
A huge thanks to Patreons as well.
Yes.
If you're here, I mean, I feel like making them all stand up, but that's probably a bit much.
Come on,
after the last half an hour.
patrons, stand up.
Patrons,
come on, guys. Big round of applause for our patrons. Big round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Your support for the show is amazing. Also, thank you to everyone for taking the time and coming along today.
Yes.
It's so wonderful for you to take the time to come along and see our show. It means so much to us, so thank you so much.
And just one more thing, we do have, I think, like 10, 15 tickets available for next week's show. It's a completely different show, so if you enjoyed this show, either buy a ticket yourself, tell a friend, whatever. But thank you so much. It's been great.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
And finally, I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.